Once upon a time, there was a little engine called Edward. He lived in a shed with 5 other engines. They were all bigger than Edward, and boasted about it. The driver won't choose you again, they said. He wants a big, strong engine like us. Edward had not been out for a long time. He began to feel sad. Just then the driver and fireman came along to start work. Driver looked at Edward and, "Why are you so sad?" he asked. "Would you like to come out today?" "Yes, please," said Edward. So the fireman lit the fire and made a nice lot of steam. Then the driver pulled the lever and Edward puffed away. "Peep, peep," he whistled. "Look at me now." The others were very cross at being left behind. Away went Edward to get some coaches. "Be careful, Edward," said the coaches. "Don't bump and bang us like the other engines do." So Edward came up to the coaches very, very gently, and the shunter fastened the coupling. "Thank you, Edward," said the coaches. "That was kind. We are glad you are taking us today." Then they went to the station where the people were waiting. "Peep, peep," whistled Edward. "Get in quickly, please." So the people got in quickly. Edward waited happily for the guard to blow his whistle and wave his green flag. He went and waited. There was no whistle, no green flag. "Peep, peep, peep. Where is that guard?" Edward was waiting anxious. The driver and fireman asked the station master, "Have you seen the guard?" "No," he said. They asked the porter, "Have you seen the guard?" "Yes, last night," said the porter. Edward began to get cross. "Are we ever going to get started?" he said. Just then a little boy shouted, "Here he comes!" And the guard was running down the hill with his flags in one hand and a sandwich in the other. He ran onto the platform, blew his whistle, and jumped into his van. Edward puffed off. He did have a happy day. All the children ran to wave as he went past, and he met old friends at the stations. He worked so hard that the driver promised to take him out again the next day. "I'm going out again tomorrow," he told the other engines. That night in the shed, what do you think of that? But he didn't hear what they thought, for he was so tired and happy, he fell asleep at once. The end. Edward and Gordon. One of the engines in Edward's shed was called Gordon. He was a very big and proud engine. "You watch me this afternoon, little Edward," he boasted, "as I rush through with the express. That will be a splendid sight for you." Just then his driver pulled the lever. "Goodbye, little Edward," said Gordon, as he puffed away. "Look out for me this afternoon." Edward went off to do some shunting. Edward liked shunting. It was fun playing with the freight cars. He would come up quietly and give them a pull. "Oh, oh, 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 oh," screamed the freight cars. Whatever is happening? Then he would stop, and the silly freight cars would bump into each other. "Oh, oh, oh, oh," they cried again. Edward pushed them until they were running nicely. When they weren't expecting it, he would stop. One of them would be sure to run into another line. Edward played until there were no freight cars, then he stopped to rest. Presently he heard a whistle. Gordon came puffing along, very slowly and very crossly. Instead of nice shining coaches, he was pulling a lot of dirty coal cars. "A goods train, a goods train, a goods train," he grumbled. "The shame of it, the shame of it, the shame of it." He went slowly through, the coal cars clattering and banging behind him. Edward laughed, and went to find some more freight cars. Soon afterwards a porter came and spoke to his driver. "Gordon can't get up the hill. Will you take Edward and push him, please?" They found Gordon halfway up the hill, very cross. His fireman and driver were talking to him severely. "You're not trying. They told him. "I can't do this," he said. Gordon. "The noisy freight cars hold an engine back so. If they were coaches, clean, sensible things, that come quietly, now that would be different." Edward's driver came up. "We've come to push," he said. "No use at all," said Gordon. "You can wait and see," said Edward's driver. They brought the train to the bottom of the hill. Edward came up behind the brake van, ready to push. "Peep, peep." "I'm ready," said Edward. "Poop, poop, no good," grumbled Gordon. The guard blew his whistle, and they pulled and pushed as hard as they could. "I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do it," puffed Gordon. "I will do it, I will do it, I will do it," puffed Edward. "I can't do it, I will do it, I can't do it, I will do it, I can't do it, I will do it," they puffed together. Edward pushed and puffed and puffed and puffed and pushed as hard as ever as he could, and almost before he realized it, Gordon found himself at the top of the hill. "I've done it, I've done it, I've done it," he said proudly, and forgot all about Edward, pushing from behind. He did not wait to say thank you, but ran on so fast that he passed 2 stations before his driver could make him stop. Edward had to be pushed so hard that he got to the top. He was out of breath. Gordon ran so fast that Edward was left behind. The guard waved and waved, but Edward couldn't catch up. He ran to the next station. There was the driver and fireman. Said they were very pleased with him. The fireman gave him a long drink of water. And the driver said, "I'll get my paint tomorrow and give you a nice, beautiful new coat of blue and red stripes. Then you'll be the smartest engine in the shed." Once an engine attached to a train was afraid of a few drops of rain. It went into a tunnel and squeaked through its funnel, and never came out again. The engine's name was Henry. His driver and fireman argued with him, but he would not move. "The rain will spoil my lovely green paint and red stripes," he said. The guard blew his whistle until he had no more breath, and waved his flags till his arms ached. But Henry still stayed in the tunnel and blew steam at him. "I'm not going to spoil my lovely green paint and red stripes for you," he said rudely. Passengers came and argued too, but Henry would not move. Sir Topham Hatt, a director who was on the train, told the guard to get a rope and we'll pull you out, he said. But Henry only blew steam at him and made him wet. They took the rope on and pulled, except Sir Topham Hatt. "My doctor has forbidden me to pull," he said. They pulled and pulled and pulled, but still Henry stayed in the tunnel. Then he tried pushing from the other end. Sir Topham Hatt said, "1, 2, 3, push," but he did not help. "My doctor has forbidden me to push," he said. They pushed and pushed and pushed, but still Henry stayed in the tunnel. At last the train came. The guard waved his red flag. Then the 2 engine drivers, the 2 firemen, and the 2 guards went and argued with Henry. "Look, it has stopped raining," they said. "Yes, but it will begin again soon," said Henry. "And what will become of my green paint and red stripes then?" So they brought another engine up, and it pushed and puffed and pushed again as hard as ever, but as it could. But still Henry stayed in the tunnel, so they gave up. They told Henry, "We shall leave you there for always and always and always." They took up the old rails, built a wall in front of him, and cut a new tunnel. Now Henry can't go out, and he watches the trains rushing through the new tunnel. He is very sad, because no one will ever see its lovely green paint with red stripes again. But I think he deserves it, don't you? Edward and Gordon often went through the tunnel where Henry was shut up. Edward would say, "Peep, peep, hello, Gordon." Hello. And Gordon would say, "Poop, poop, poop, serves you right." Poor Henry had no steam to answer. His fire had gone out. Soot and dirt from the tunnel roof had spoiled his lovely green paint and red stripes. He was cold and unhappy and wanted to come out and pull trains. Gordon always pulled the express. He was proud of being the only engine strong enough to do it. There were many heavy coaches to pull of important people like Sir Topham Hatt, who had punished Henry. Gordon was seeing how fast he could go. "Hurry, hurry, hurry," he panted. "Trickety-trock, trickety-trock, trickety-trock," said the coaches. Gordon could see Henry's tunnel in front. In a minute he thought, "I'll poop, poop, poop at Henry," and he rushed through out onto the open again. Closer and closer he came. He was almost there when crack! He was in a cloud of steam and going slower and slower. His driver stopped the train. "What happened to me?" asked Gordon. I feel so weak." "You've bursted your safety valve," said the driver. "You can't pull the train any more." "Oh dear," said Gordon. We were going so nicely too. Look at Henry laughing at me." Gordon made a face at Henry and blew smoke at him. Everybody came out to see Gordon. Said Sir Topham Hatt. "I've never liked these big engines. Always going wrong. Send for another engine at once." While the guard went to find one, they uncoupled Gordon and ran him into a siding out of the way. The only engine left in the shed was Edward. "I'll come and try," he said. Gordon saw him coming. "That's no use," he said. "Edward can't pull the train." Edward puffed and pulled and pulled and puffed, but he could not move the heavy coaches. "I told you," said Gordon rudely. "Why not let Henry try?" "Yes," said Sir Topham Hatt, "I will." "Will you help us with this train, Henry?" he asked. "Yes," said Henry at once. So Gordon's driver and fireman lit his fire and some plate layers broke down the wall and put the rails back in. And when he steamed up, Henry puffed out. He was dirty, his boiler was black, he was covered in cobwebs. "Ooh, I'm so stiff. Ooh, I'm so stiff," he groaned. "You'd better have a run to ease your joints and find a turntable," said Sir Topham Hatt kindly. Henry came back feeling better, and they put him in front. "Peep, peep," said Edward. "I'm ready." "Peep, peep, peep," said Henry. "So am I." "Pull hard, pull hard, pull hard," puffed Edward. "We'll do it, we'll do it, we'll do it," puffed Henry. "Pull hard, we'll do it, we'll do it, pull hard, we'll do it, pull hard, we'll do it." They puffed together. The heavy coaches jerked and began to move slowly at first, then faster and faster. "We've done it together, we've done it together, we've done it together," said Henry and Edward. "You've done it, hooray, you've done it, hooray, you've done it, hooray," sang the coaches. All the passengers were excited. Sir Topham Hatt leaned out the window to wave at Edward and Henry, but the train was going so fast that his hat blew off into the field where a goat ate it for his lunch. They never stopped till they came to the big station at the end of the line. Passengers got all out and said thank you, and Sir Topham Hatt promised a new coat and paint. "Would you like blue and red?" "Yes," said Henry. Then I'll be like Edward." Edward and Henry went back home quietly and on the other way, and they helped Gordon back into the shed. All three engines were now great friends. Wasn't Henry pleased when he got his new coat? He was very proud of it, as all good engines are. But he doesn't mind the rain now, because he knows the best way to keep his paint nice is not to run into tunnels but to ask driver to rub him down with hard days when the work is over.